Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What's happening?
What's going on, bro?
Listen, man, this has probably been one of the more awkward days here that we've had here recently of doing the pod here, man. We've been all over the place here this Friday, though, man. What's good with you, though, man?
Man, listen, it's been weird because life has been happening. It's not that the lack of wanting to do the pod. I think, uh, like I said, it's definitely been busy. But I'm just now leaving a wedding. My boy Chris A just got married, man, to his beautiful wife. So I'm just now leaving the wedding, headed back to the house. Of course, I'm still trying to take care of Sarah, so I got to get back, man. I ain't even have a whole lot to really hang out for the reception or whatever like that. And plus we had the pod. Just what it is.
Yeah, yeah, man. So this is Chris A, your boy who's big on TikTok out there in Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's huge on TikTok, man. This dude is nice kid on I think nice kid on TikTok. He's like huge following. I mean, he's been doing a lot with his platform. He's also a rapper, a Christian rapper at that. I mean, the dude is very, very talented. I've been knowing him for quite some times, you know what I'm saying? And it was cool because he makes me look cool around my kids because I know him. Because it's funny, they came out to the church for Christmas and it was like, yo, is that the TikTok? I said, yep, that's him. So it was funny because Charlie went to church one time and she went up to him. She said, yo, I got a TikTok for you, and just broke down and started dancing, bro. Charlie, bro.
Did she didn't do the holy moly, did she?
Nah, bro, she just got out there and just started making up her own stuff, doing the Charlie.
Ah,
That's what she did.
okay.
Yeah,
Hey, so
yeah.
listen, man.
What's good with you though?
So this is a busy day for me as well, though, man. I came immediately from our basketball practice, and I got a crazy rest of the day because I still have to. I'm heading out to Thanksgiving traveling, right? So sliding on out to go visit my brother Ken first, and he lives up in Hampton. It's probably about 2 hours outside of DC. So I'm sliding on out there to see him tomorrow. And then, we'll be over there until like roughly Tuesday, pop up in DC for Thanksgiving for a couple of days and then make that trip on back. So crazy. And I still got to do stuff like I got to pack, because I still have to run out to gas up. It was just crazy though, man. So yeah, man, busy day though.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Well, give it to me, bro. It's the best thing you've seen this week.
Oh man, so the best thing that I have seen this week. Oh man, listen, just something that was just very subtle because, like I said, all this week has been based off of me prepping to slide out. I finally saw the feng shui. It was dope.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the boy feng shui. He was killing it, and you know what though, man, I was That probably was my. This is crazy because I've been so focused on work this week though, man, that I saw that and that I'm gonna go with that, Fernando. What about you?
For me, it's definitely the result of yesterday. We had something big to do going out in Oklahoma City with Julius Jones. We'll get into it a little bit later, but the best thing I seen this week was the last minute save by the governor. So, like I said, we'll get in more to. Go ahead.
Let's talk about that now, though, because listen, here's what's interesting because we talk about rulings and things like that, though, man. The Julius Jones was one I thought was interesting because from somebody who's an outsider, I don't know a whole lot about this one. And then, of course, it gained a little bit more headlines when Kim Kardashian kind of jumped out there and was trying to lead the campaign of trying to, either reduce his sentence, get him freed. If I'm following this, and keep me honest when I say this story, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that there was a story about this dude being involved with a potential murder, and he was basically, apparently they say that he was with another, or he was identified by someone else who was trying to steal, who was trying to sell the vehicle of the guy who was murdered, basically, though. And it sounds like, from what I understood, that one of the other guys who they say was involved pointed to this guy, Julius Jones, and said, hey, you know what? He probably got the murder weapon on over at the crib, had a gun. He was identified with having a red bandana I guess by whoever was a witness or someone who saw someone like that. And police went and searched the home and found this gun there that was wrapped in the red bandana or rag that someone described. So police just kind of put two and two together and said, hey, this is the dude. Let's go ahead and hem him up.
Well,
Even though there was no overwhelming proof that he actually did this.
you know, the details of what I read was that during the actual, when they were trying to get the vehicle, there was a young lady and her brother, and then his girls was in the back. And from what I understand, whoever, you know, did the actual murder, she was able to get free, get the girls out and run to her parents' house. And during her testimony, things started not to link up. Like she was saying that he had braids or corn like that. And Julius Jones didn't have braids. And so it was a bunch of holes in the, and the governor had the power to give him clemency. So that's what happened. Probably, I want to say probably around noon or so that happened. And he was able to get that taken care of. But he basically, what the governor did was give him a life sentence without the possibility of parole. So at least he got to keep his life. So, you know, the work is still not done. You know, people are still going to be trying to do what they can to get him out. But, you know, the first step was to save his life. So that was the and, you know, just so many different people, many schools doing walkouts. I know Carly was a part of one, and she even spoke. And, you know, as you can see with, if you follow Sarah, she kind of posted, you know, what was going on through Carly's eyes, which was interesting to know that she was actually that involved. And so it, you know, it was, like you said, it was in my backyard. And it was interesting because, you know, I'm sure that they were thinking about the possibility of what could happen if his life would have been lost in this.
So this was actually in the Edmond area then, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the part that I thought I read that was kind of surprising because, you know, listen, I frequent Oklahoma City in the area, and I've always kind of took in that Edmond was like the upscale area. It's almost like the Buckhead of or the Alpharetta, one of those kind of suburbs of Oklahoma City, though, man. So I thought that was interesting that it happened there, though, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, and
crazy.
I think the biggest thing is for the governor. You know, at first he was basically trying to say he didn't want any part, like he didn't want to listen to either side. He didn't want to listen to the family side because obviously, you know, the family is like, look, I get that all these people are trying to grant him clemency, but at the same time, we want justice for our family member. And so I'm sure that he was between a rock and a hard place to make that type of decision. Mm-hmm. Because they wanted closure, obviously, but then at the same time, you know, with so many holes in the story, like for him to lose his life without it being a clear cut that this is what happened, I think that was important to at least just save his life. So was grateful that he came to that conclusion, and yeah, it was a big win. But you know, like I said, the work is not done, and people aren't completely satisfied with how the outcome was, but at the end of the day, he still has his life, and in order for the work to continue to keep going.
Yeah, man, I find that everything about it though, man, very interesting story though, man. I think that this is crazy because I think that the big thing that I'm just tripped out on the most is that I totally understand from the family's perspective as well. Like, all right, that's all fine and dandy and everything like that, but I think that I don't know how what do they do? They redo a trial. They're not going to redo a trial after I've already sentenced him. How long ago did this happen anyway?
Well, this has been going on for it happened back in 2019. I want to believe, and I personally didn't like. I've heard of different people talking about it, but really didn't start diving into it until the day before, which is why I, had such a late post about it, because I wasn't like, you know how it's just like so much stuff going on that I didn't really pay attention what was going on until I started reading posts on Facebook. 'Cause I'm gonna be honest, man, I haven't really been reading a lot of Facebook posts just for the simple fact of what we talked about during the last pod of just like so much negative stuff going on. And so I just really started to dive in and pay attention to this. And so
So I think that you were breaking up a little bit though, man. It's I don't know if it's just my side though, man, but it definitely so here's what's interesting though. I think that what is interesting to me about this, and Brittany Rowe, thank you here as well for keeping me honest here on that. I think that you were breaking up, and I don't know if it was just my end or if you were just out and about and you just kind of got a bad signal here. But let me ask you this though. So I think that you said 2019. It looks like this happened. So I'm just look this up real quick. It says in 1999 this actually happened. And I think that one of the things that was interesting is that they said that, he basically said on the night of that murder that this dude was at the crib eating dinner with the family, his alibi checked out and everything like that. And that's what's weird to me is that, you could have so many holes in a case and then still have something where it just goes the other way. I think that that's always crazy. That is interesting. Unlike, right, the Kyle Rittenhouse case, that surprised me the most.
Yeah, it surprised me, but it didn't.
It did. So this is the okay. Let me ask you this. Okay, yeah. Were you since to your point, right? I wasn't surprised. Okay. I wasn't. I wasn't shocked, right?
I was surprised that it was not guilty. But I'm not at all like
yo, you listen, Ace, you sound real real bad. But listen, let me tell you what I think that's interesting here while we get you situated here. I think that, bro, so I can't help, and I hate to be the one that throws in the race card, right? But I can't help but do it in this one, right? Because when I look at this though, Ace, there's no way, right? There's no way that you can tell me, right, that a black man, a black teenager, or whatever age he is, can travel from out of state with a gun, right? And come out and for whatever reasons, right? Like, let's say that I know that they said that he felt like he was being attacked or he felt like somebody was, coming at him or whatever. But this guy wasn't an officer, right? He's not an official. He's not nothing, right? So he comes from a whole nother state, kills two people, right? Injures another, right? And it's found innocent. And Ace Kennedy, I can't help but think there is no way this happens if he's black. And I hate to be the one that pulls out the race card because there are times where the race card is needed though, bro. But when I saw this, I just like that. That was my thing. I'm like, ain't no way this would happen if this was a black kid.
100% agree with you. If this was a football game, there definitely would be a flag on the play because of the fact that the race does play a big part in this. This is white privilege at its finest.
Ace, let me tell you. So I think that I think this several ways. This is my problem that I have with this, right? So the reason why I think that I know that it went to the jurors, right? But I saw something about this that I was completely when I knew. I'm gonna tell you when I knew that he was gonna be found innocent, right? Is that there is a video or a picture of the judge, this dude, and his lawyer, and they're looking at a video or looking at something on a screen or whatnot, though, right? And the minute that I saw that angle, right, that cropped angle of them, I said, "Oh yeah, he's innocent, bro. He's gonna be found innocent. He is not gonna go to jail." And the reason why I thought that, Ace, is that I looked at that, bro, and I said, "You know what? Not that this judge is gonna be the one that makes the final decision, but it says that he was right behind him looking on the phone, right?" So here's my thing that's funny to me. It's the fact that when I saw that, I saw how comfortable the judge was around him. Ace Kennedy, there's no way you're going to have this judge have a black guy standing behind him who just murdered 2 people, right? And be that comfortable, right? So I thought that when you see that, if you're a juror, you kind of look like, oh, okay, you know what? The judge is mighty comfortable with this guy. You know what I'm saying? It kind of paints a certain image, though, bro. So when I saw that, though, I said, oh, yeah, this boy, they about to let this boy get off. And, you know, when they start to do the whole boarding up and all that other stuff, though, man, and getting everything prepped, I knew at that point, yeah, they're not going to send us, they're not going to charge this boy because the judge just made him seem like he was safe, though, bro, by doing that. I had a problem with that, bro.
Yeah, I had a problem with it too, man. The optics were just bad 100% on this the entire way. The optics were bad. And so the thing is that, like I said, it didn't surprise me that we got this outcome, but I'm very surprised that it's just so weird that this is the type of world that we live in, and the justice system being this unbalanced.
Shocking, right? If I was to use the word shock, I would have been more shocked, right? Because think about this, though. Everything lined up, right? When you look at this, every single thing lines up that says this man basically came across state lines, committed a crime, killed 2 people, got home, went into hiding basically behind it, and then was up here at the courthouse trying to fake these tears out here, though, bro. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, everything about this says guilty. And for you to still come back and say that this man was innocent, this is the thing that I'm more so that's by him saying he was found innocent on all charges. All charges. So what you're telling me then, right, is that you're saying you're co-signing that what he did was legal and just. Right? Like it'd be one thing if you say, okay, you know what? He's guilty on one of the charges, not even a misdemeanor, everything, all charges. Basically, he's found. So you're saying you're co-signing that this is acceptable. That's the problem that I have with this, though, bro.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is that I don't know. And, you know, we have the Ahmaud Arbery case coming up soon, and that's another one that if that one turns out differently, bro, it's I just don't know.
It's that Ahmaud Arbery one. I got my eyes on that one because here's the crazy thing. In the last thing that they showed in the last hearing, this guy who was there with them, while he wasn't the one who pulled the trigger, and that's what they're basically saying. I was there. I didn't shoot him, right? One of the guys. But he said this man was no threat. This dude never raised his voice at them, Ahmaud Arbery. Never raised his voice. Yeah. Never pulled a weapon out. Never made them feel threatened. Not one time this guy says, though, bro.
Right.
So it does say that when you say innocent, like in this case with this dude in Kenosha, that just says that according to the letter of the law, that this is acceptable, right? Like that's regular behavior, though, bro. And my concern with that is that it feels very much one-sided. Like I could not picture this same outcome if this dude was black, bro. I just can't.
100%. There's nothing wrong with you saying that. I think that most people that have some sort of sense feel that that if had it been a black dude, we probably wouldn't even have a trial because that individual wouldn't even be here.
That boy be dead before he made it there, man.
Right.
I don't know, man.
So
I don't know where we go from here.
It's just it's 2 steps forwards and 3 steps back. It's like, they gotta have balance, because you look at the George Floyd situation and how that outcome went. There's just been so many cases where it's been, up and down, where we see video footage of things that you would be like, how in the world could anybody see other than what we saw? Because there's no interpretation here. We saw what we saw on video, so like the video. So when you have that type of evidence, I just don't know what else is there to discuss.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had posted this earlier, and the homegirl Kia Smith said, "Really," she said, "I've done many papers on the justice system, death penalty, etc. during my undergrad, and I understand." She said, "I understand why the Supreme Court felt years ago that minors shouldn't get the death penalty or the electric chair due to their brains not being fully developed as adults. I didn't want him to get neither for that reason, but I did think he should have received some time for his actions. Going to get the weapon, leaving the state, leaving his home state, lying, saying that he was part of the EMT staff, etc., was wrong. And it says also 2 people are dead, and more than likely wouldn't have been if he wouldn't have been there and armed in the first place. It says, in my opinion, he didn't go there for peace. Instead, he was he was there to help the cops and get people under control without any training. And that's the part that I think that's just crazy to me. It's like, I don't care what your intentions are. If you went there with good intentions, bro, you ain't no cop. You ain't the police. You ain't been trained for none of that, though, man. So I don't know, man. I don't get it. And here's the thing that I think that's interesting. You say that because the timing of this whole thing, right? So you get on the edge of this. You already said that on Julius Jones, he basically, they come in, they grant him to where he doesn't necessarily get the death penalty, right? He doesn't. That's cool. Does it feel like, well, we gave y'all this one, right? We gave y'all George Floyd. We didn't give y'all Breonna Taylor, but they getting all these settlements. And by the way, Elijah McClain, the family got like 17 million. Got all this money. Who they really did him probably more wrong than all of the people. And not to say there's more, but his was dirty. They did him real dirty. But does it feel like, all right, you know what? We give y'all some, we get some. Like it feels like they're playing around with lives on this, though, man, for the justice system.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like they're trying to create balance. Because like I said, for Governor Stitt, I don't know that man, and you know what I'm saying, I don't know what his thought process was to get him to that point. But all I do know, because like I said, he had both communities against him. One community that was riding for the family, and then of course this other community that wanted to save this man's life. So what do you do in this situation? Because at the end of the day, somebody's going to be upset. Because, you know, if he's like, well, look, I'm granting him clemency, but at the same time, he has to spend the rest of his days in prison, you know, without the possibility of parole. So he's serving out a life sentence he will stay in jail basically for the rest of his life. So, you know, is that closure enough for the family? I'm sure, I don't know. And it's interesting because me and my mom was talking about it this morning. It was just like, I just wouldn't want that decision on me. And I don't know how I would feel if one of my family members had passed and, you know, had been murdered or something like that, and how I would feel about that situation. But I'm just saying, I just don't know that I would want to, you know, wish somebody else's death, though. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest with you though, Ace. If it was clear cut and they knew that somebody, if they said no, this person without a doubt killed your family member, that would be an easy decision for me though, bro. I would have no problem at all. But I think that what makes this very unique is that there is just as much evidence that says that this dude that they don't know for sure that he did that. And for that, I would feel that way that you described. by locking someone up who it's very possible or is just as likely that they didn't do this as what they did do it though. So that's the one thing I do feel though, bro. But no, if something happened to somebody in my family members and they caught the person, they say, "Yep, this person has done it." No, they got to go. Get them out of here. Get them boys out of there ASAP. And I would feel no problem at all. I would sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, oh, here is a perfect example. Perfect example that Ace. Let's switch topics here because a lot going on. You saw the video, Zach Stacy.
Bruh.
Did you listen? What was your reaction to that?
My thing is that I've been in situations to where females have made me upset, and they have been upset, but I have never in my life wanted to put my hands on a woman, somebody that is clearly not as strong as you. That is, bro, that like immediately somebody in her family should be in jail right now from still putting their hands on him, bro.
Listen, bro, I saw the video, and if you haven't seen this very graphic video, Zach Stacy, former NFL fullback or whatever position he played. And so what was crazy about this, man, is that this dude, you play this video, and apparently they had like video cameras in the house, like home joints or whatever. If you got Ring or if you got Vivint, whatever, right? So they got the video, and you see him in one angle. He's going off at this girl, and he says something like, also you thought this was like a good idea. You talk about me relationships or whatever, and she's just sitting there, and he literally snatches her up and throws her into a TV. Like a rag doll, literally like a rag doll. And Ace, what I think was crazy is that he seemed like, because that didn't knock her out, like that she was still, alive, basically, that the more that infuriated him, right? So he goes, and while she's on the ground, he is swinging, like he is trying to get her up out of there, bro. Like he is swinging like this is a man. And so she's still kind of, blocking some of the punches and everything like that. And it seemed like it, and the whole time, 5-month-old son is sitting here watching this whole entire thing, though, right?
That's what I was gonna bring up. That
5-month-old son is just watching it. Then the baby starts screaming because this guy picks the girl up, though, man, and does a whole WWE tables, ladders, and chairs choke slam this girl into a table, though, bro. And I was just like, yo, he was really. And listen, I guess at that point, to your point, Ace, I think that there's been sometimes a female can try to push your buttons, right? If they know how to do it, some will, right? But I've never felt the urge to go that level, right? Next level, to say, nah, I'm about to go ahead and put these paws on you like you a man. You know what I'm saying? But he was really trying to.
I've had a woman swing on me, and that still never crossed my mind. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand the mind space or what power you receive from thinking like for beating on somebody that does not have the same strength as you. Like what I mean, that you just automatically know that you don't, like, a woman doesn't have the same strength. And why would that even be a thought process? I just don't get it.
Hey, bro, it looks like that ain't the first time, man. He looks like, listen, I don't want to judge people like that, but I'm saying it looks like he's been there before with her.
Right, 100%, which is probably why she had them cameras installed, because probably nobody believed her.
Hey,
because she was really calm.
She was very calm for someone who is basically getting attacked to where this person has no regards to your life, though, bro. Like, he was and like I said, it just looked like he was getting more pissed that she was just still moving, getting up. Like I was just like, really, bro. And here's my thing, though. I don't know how. Let's just say, aside from aside from her family members, right? If I'm people who know him, like at that point, bro, I gotta disown you. Now, Ace Kennedy, oh my gosh, bro. Part of me was thinking, I'm gonna be honest, bro, since we're talking about it. Part of me was thinking, like, what exactly could she have said or done? Right? Because that's always the big thing. Because listen, when Chris Brown put them hands on Rihanna, part of me wondered, not that I'm okay with any bit of it, and it probably doesn't justify it. I do wonder still, what was that conversation like? And so this also makes me think, what exactly did she say? Now, because she had it recorded, it tells me that maybe he just has an anger issue, and that, to your point, she wanted to get it as some kind of proof, right? But I would wonder this time around, you know what I'm saying, what exactly was that situation? Just for my information, not that it justifies anything. I am curious about that, though, man.
No. I think anybody want to know, because I think it doesn't justify the what happened, but that tells you the level of crazy. Because what if it was just something like, I mean, again, this has no meaning whatsoever, but let's just say it was an infidelity thing where she's, slept with somebody. What if, if it was something like that, then, that doesn't justify you putting your hands on her. I just don't know anything that she could have said where it's like, okay, I'm gonna put my hands on you.
I'm thinking about that. I don't. What could a woman say? What could a woman say or do to make me? I don't know. And Brittany Rowe, I've seen this before. I'm gonna share this comment here, because this is one of those things that I see and that I disagree with. And Brittany Rowe put on here, Ace, that Chris Brown watched his mom get beat on growing up. And she said, again, unresolved anger issues. Like, listen, I don't buy that myself, though, man.
But I agree with that, though, because hurt people, and when you experience a certain level of trauma growing up, you begin to believe that's normal, even though that. Charles, I get it. Listen. There are certain people that can go through situations growing up, you included in this, right? Where you've been through something growing up and you watched it and it was like, nope, that's not going to be the way that I do things.
Right.
You have people that's like that. But unfortunately, we have a number of people that can't get past that trauma. And especially we growing up, especially like in our era, we didn't really address trauma like that. Like being molested or being abused growing up. Those things, you are taught to suppress those things, not to say anything. And so then those things are built up inside of you. And then one day you look up, it's just like the syndrome when we be like, I'll never be like my parents. And then you look up like, dang, I'm just like my parents. Those types of things happen for real. So I understand exactly what Brittany is saying in that.
I get that. To me, I think that, like I said, I look at that and I just, I understand what you're saying, right? I guess for me, I don't want to take the accountability away from somebody who decides, right?
No. It's not taking the accountability away. It's not what I'm saying at all. Because again, at the end of the day, it boils down to it being a choice. You chose to say, nope, I'm not going to do that based upon like what I was taught growing up. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. That was a choice you made. So the accountability doesn't go anywhere. It's just you start to get an understanding as to why it happened. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it anything like that, because that person has a choice. You saw this and this growing up. You have a choice to choose to go down that path or down this path. And if you choose the other path, then you have to own up to the accountability.
Right. I get that. Like, to me, this is my thing. You can't, to me, if I grew up watching my mom get her tail beat, right, at a young age, I'm going to say, hey, you know what? That worked for my dad or my stepdad, or that worked for the next person. So I'm going to do the same thing. Like, if I'm watching my mom get beat and I know, I would look at it and say, nah, that's not that's not what I am gonna do. Right. And
right. But you gotta understand, you gotta also too look at it though, Charles. we're talking statistics here, right? If you look at most of statistics, when you look at people who have issues with domestic violence or something like that, they can go back and say, oh, well, he watched XYZ. It happened to his mom, or it happened to this person. That's trained behavior. That's just what they know. Again, everybody still has the choice, but a lot of times when you look at those things that happen, it's because of the trauma that's happened to them in the past.
Yeah, I think that I don't know, man. Like I understand what you're saying, I don't necessarily. I guess I don't disagree with it. My thought process is just different.
Well,
I
think the reason why you're having such a hard time agreeing with that, because again, you personally have been through something and you chose the other path, and you like it's almost like mental health, right? We talk about mental health, and it's hard for somebody who really has never experienced anxiety or depression or something like that to kind of understand how a person can be fine one day and then the next day have no desire to do anything. It's a little difficult to understand if you haven't experienced something like that. So it's kind of the same thing, but like I said, you persevere. Like you are one of the greatest people I know, but that's partly because you were able to look at situations growing up and saying, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I'm gonna be better than that, or I'm gonna do this and that differently. So I think that's what makes it a little bit more difficult in this situation to get that, because I'm not trying to take any accountability away from anybody that does those things, but I'm just saying I can understand why it's almost like addiction, right? You know, when you see people in certain settings where their parents were drinkers, heavy drinkers, and then they grow up and they do the same thing. You know, it's happened. I've seen that personally too. So yeah.
That's a good, so that right there, right? That's one of the things that's with that scenario that you described, right? So my family, right? Not to put my business on out there, but you know that I have a side of my family where drinking was a big deal. Heavy drinkers, right? Heavy drinkers still. And when I was growing up, I was just like, nah, not for me. It's not. There's no way that I'm gonna repeat that, right? And so I think that's just that's a grown man decision that I made. The same when it comes to the kind of dad that I want to be, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I knew I made my mind up. Like there were some things that I was taught and I saw growing up that I was like, nah, that doesn't feel like that's the way, right? That's not how I felt that it was supposed to be. And so for that reason, I was cognizant of making that decision to do differently. But for that reason, though, Ace, I think that my brothers all did the same thing. And it was something that we never had to talk to each other about doing. We just all were cognizant about, hey, this is how I was raised. This is what I saw growing up. And I'm going to not do those things, right? In order for me to be a better dad to my son, I'm going to not apply these things that I saw from other men in my life. I'm not going to that's just, it's a decision. And that's why it's hard for me to back away from the accountability part though, right? Like I understand that some people can just say, oh no, this is trained behavior because this is all I saw. It's all I know, but it doesn't necessarily have to be all that you do, right? You don't have to repeat that cycle, and you can make the decision.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is some people just aren't strong enough to do that. Because I mean, like you said, I kind of same thing for me, right? For me, I saw a side of my family that drunk a lot, and they used to get into fights all the time, and that there was a specific incident where I remember. And I was like, and so to this day, I don't drink. And that's because of what I saw growing up. And that same thing. I think me and you took our first drink together at your graduation party. We took a sip of something.
No, it was at the wedding. That was when we took that was when we had some hard liquor. That was some hard.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
At my wedding was the first time I remember having a drink, and I was 25 then. Yeah, but at the what did we have? What was that we was drinking on though, bro? It was like some.
It had to be like some Hennessy or something.
Yeah, it was some brown. I remember it being. Now you know what?
It was brown.
It was, yeah, it probably was some brown though, bro. But yeah, I just, my thing is that, bro, I just, like I said, I just remember though, man, growing up when I just remember, family members that I had that drank very, very excessively though, bro. And I was just like, nah, that's just not the way that I want to get down though, bro. Like, and part of it to me though, man, is that the way that the reason why I say about that with drinking in particular for me, was that like bro, I never wanted, I'm so much of a control freak of my body, bro, that I never want to be to where I'm in some altered state of mind and I catch that fade from somebody because I'm talking slick and I don't have my wherewithal to protect myself. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think that though, I think that there are certain things though, man. Like I tell you, I do admit, right, that, and I'll say this all the time on this podcast, and I say this all the time to you, that I don't, and I try my best to understand mental health issues better because it's something that I don't, admittedly understand. And so that's probably why when I say that I kind of disagree or I can't necessarily jump on board of that, part of my reasons I suppose for that is just like I've seen differently. I've chose differently though, and I'm not saying that everybody can or that everybody should. But I like, listen, man. I don't. If I look at that and say, man, if I can, then other people can choose to do the same thing. And maybe that's a very simplified way of looking at that. Um, but like I said though, man, like I admit though, man, that I am not the most understanding person when it comes to mental health, depression, things like that though, man. It's not, but it's something that I do um try to listen and try to, get into that, tap into that more than what I typically would though, bro.
Yeah, it is definitely something because I'm gonna tell you, man, when I see people post about them having a bad day or like I said, it's seeing somebody who is happy this day, like just like the greatest things are going in their life, blessed, got everything going, but then the next day have no desire to want to do something, bro. I completely 100% understand and feel it. It's crazy because you know it there's sometimes it can be something that can be fixed by therapy, and then sometimes it's an actual chemical breakdown that you need medical attention for. So it's weird, and I'm grateful you ain't never had to experience nothing like that. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that affect a lot of people. And now that mental health, like people talk mental health so much now that it's almost like a fad. Like you hear people say it and may not experience it, but for those who genuinely and truly go through it, they understand.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, man, in other sad news as well, though, man. We lost the big homie, Young Dolph, though, man. That right there, though, bro. Like, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you that
Yeah.
this is. Let me tell you the bad part about this, though, bro. The part that I did, the part that so Young Dolph from Memphis, right? And so Young Dolph, there's a not to say there's this new wave, but there has been probably over the last like maybe 5-7 years, 5 to 7 years, there's this wave of Memphis artists. Before that was primarily just 3 6 Mafia and Yo Gotti, basically. And Hypnotized Mind Camp. But I think as far as people that were tapping into that mainstream, Young Dolph was like one of the first ones outside of the originals that I remember. 8 Ball, MJG, and them also too, right? But Young Dolph was like the first new sound from Memphis. And then after that, I started to hear Black Youngster more. I started to hear a different sound in Yo Gotti, and then I started to hear Moneybagg Yo, especially though, man. And I think that it was just sad for me to see that Yo Gotti was shot down in Memphis, and it just immediately reminded me of an interview that I saw on Vlad TV with Boosie. Lil Boosie was saying, yeah, a lot of these rappers are typically killed in their hometowns, and all of the here recently, the ones who have been killed have been killed in their spots, though, bro. It definitely was sad, though, man, to see the homie because he was 36 years old, though, bro. So I'm like, yo,
Yeah, because didn't
crazy.
Nipsey die in his hometown?
Nipsey died in front of his store.
Right.
Yeah, Nipsey died in his hometown. XXX died in his hometown. Now Dolph hometown.
Not Dolph, but yeah, Young Dolph, yeah.
Now King Von didn't die that I'm aware of in his hometown. He was out of town though, man. But the odd part about it is that they basically have associated King Von with someone from Chicago for being pinned for that, which I don't think that they've still found anybody to be guilty of that though. But they point to that being something based out of Chicago still though, man.
Yeah, it's that the whole thing is just sad because he was supporting a local bakery, a place that he frequents, and was going to get some cookies and lost his life, bro. Like that it's just terrible.
Now I remember young Dolph a couple of years ago when Dolph was like was on fire, right? When he was like, because like right now, I'm not gonna lie, Moneybagg Yo is like, Moneybagg Yo is booming. But like a couple of years ago, it was Dolph that was booming. Dolph, I thought I saw something that said that Atlantic offered Dolph like something like $20 million distribution deal, label deal, basically, and he turned it down. And I guess he was probably thinking like, all right, either we can get this thing independently or we can, move it and get more money or whatever. So I saw that was one thing I saw. But then he had basically talked about him retiring, you know what I'm saying, here lately from rap though, man. So I don't think that he was really looking to go to being a CEO and pushing some of his artists though, man. So and Dolph would very much like a lot of the Memphis artists, though, man. They would collab very frequently with a lot of the Atlanta artists, though, man. So he was heavy on the Atlanta scene out here, though, man. But I was very, very, very like they listen, man. 30, 36. I think we young now, but 36 is still very young to me, bro.
It is very young, bro. Especially when I'm 41 and you 40. And I definitely feel like I'm still young, and so it's he was a little brother to us. So yeah, that's yeah. I just, man, my heart goes out to it because it's like I said, me and Sarah was talking about this. Like, there's a lot of people losing their lives, and I think that when we look at celebrities, it's just one of those things. Like, man, well, they got the money to have people to like security guards and bodyguards and stuff like that, but these people are regular people too. They not fixing to just be going out every single where protected like that. And so like you said, like XX-Tentacion, him just sitting in his car slumped over, like all of these types of things that are just happening, bro. It's just unreal that they keep happening.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And the bad part about it is that there's all kind of different rumors as far as who kind of did it, beefs that he had, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it typically, like something like that. I don't know, man. Like, I'd imagine that, that Dolph was a street dude, and he's been on now for so long that people have been almost pointing to the fact that maybe his death was behind not just street stuff, but like rap street stuff, basically, though. So that's the bad part about it. It's like, come on, bro. I saw somebody who did a TikTok video, man. This dude was basically like boo-hoo crying and about this, and he was an older guy, and he was basically saying that, you know what I'm saying, that it was like Black Youngster was involved with it. And I was just like, now come on, man. Y'all just tossing names out here now, though, bro. But it's very sad, nevertheless, though, man. Like my heart goes out to his family. I think that I listened to an interview with him where he was saying like he was like every year he was buying like a new house for one of his kids, basically. And so when they got older, they would already have all these properties and everything. Like they was like he was doing some real dope stuff, though, man. And so it's very unfortunate, man. Very unfortunate.
Absolutely. Bro,
Hey,
what
man,
do you
listen.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
No, I was just gonna say. So the word on the block is the boy AB got the fake Vax cards.
All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you though, bro. Part of me kind of believes that AB had a fake one. But then it also makes me think that maybe he does have a real one as well, though. Like he seems like nothing surprises me with him. But the part that makes it a little suspicious was that this was the dude who he owed some money. So the dude was like, all right, if you didn't get my money, I'm about to just go ahead and start putting your business out there. So I don't know, man, but I don't know. I don't know what to think about AB. Like all of his issues have been like with people or like he had an issue before with not wanting to pay the moving company. He didn't want to pay this dude. Like everything that happens with him in the news here lately is about him not wanting to pay people for services that he's asking them to do, though, bro. It's like, nah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because I mean, that's almost like hearing about Birdman not paying artists. So it's just like,
my gosh, yeah.
So it's like, you know, if a lot of people are saying it, bro, you know, some of it got to be true, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm gonna get you out of here on this one, though, man. What you got on deck for the weekend?
This weekend is still, you know, worried about getting, you know, trying to get Sarah healthy. Other than that, we probably gonna catch a couple of movies. You know, King Richard is out on HBO Max, so I'm probably going to check that out. And you know, that's about it, man. I'm just chilling, bro, trying to get ready for the holiday. What about you?
I'm road tripping, man. I'm driving pretty much this Saturday, so I'm hitting the road, man. If I can hit the road at 6 o'clock in the morning, man, I'll be good with that. So if I hit that at 6, though, man, I should be straight. But that's it. I'm already in my holiday mood, man. I'm already there, though, man. Mentally, I'm already ready for this long drive there and back. So yeah, man. I'm officially the only thing I need more is a pumpkin spice latte, man, that'll get me there. But I'm straight though, man.
That's what's up.
Hey, on that note, though, man, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook page. Every episode is streamed from both platforms. For my brother Ace Kennedy, Charlie Venus Slash Brothers Podcast. We out this day, man. Appreciate y'all for jumping in. Brittany Bro and Mark Nurse, man. Appreciate y'all as always. Y'all take it easy. Ace Kennedy, we out.
We out.
Peace.